4.
Then I think the Titans will take Jeremiyah Love. First of all, Robert Saleh knows the value of a star running back for a young quarterback. He watched McCaffrey with Brock Purdy. And Saleh's got a better offensive feel than most defensive coaches. He actually does. I've texted Robert on that. He likes offense, and he knows the value. And this kid's a home run hitter. I'm telling you, man, the drop-off between Jeremiyah Love and the second-best running back in this draft, it may be greater than Fernando Mendoza and the second-best quarterback. He is an absolute Jahmyr Gibbs, day one in play, and they were 30th last year, the Titans were, in rushing offense. They got to get Cam Ward some help. There's plenty of receivers in the second, third, and fourth round. There's good tight ends in the second and third round. This is the star running back. Cam Ward needs help. He goes 4 to the Tennessee Titans.
Interesting. I don't think I heard Colin say that before. He hasn't talked about the Tennessee Titans a lot, but I'm pretty sure he had them going defense in his earlier mock draft. I could be wrong. I just think I've said this before, but I'll say it again. And I want to show you some stats. I just think the Tennessee Titans got to go Jeremiyah Love, man. It's just I think when you have a new regime and you're trying to figure out a quarterback, elevate a quarterback, whatever it may be. Also combined with the fact that the Tennessee Titans have obviously been going nowhere fast for years now. When you have the ability to draft an offensive player who can have not only an immediate impact, but not even just offensive rookie-like offense, not even just rookie accolades, but just NFL accolades, right? Like Jeremiyah Love, if this team is just relatively good enough, right? I don't mean that they have to completely go from worst to first or one of those types of things. But if they're let's just say they're just competent. Let's think of a team last season that was just kind of competent. There was a handful of pretty incompetent. I'm trying to think of a team that was competent, but didn't make the playoffs. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Atlanta Falcons, pretty much that entire division over there. But let's just stick with that. If they're just that good enough, right? Where? You're just kind of oh, this team's pretty good. Oh, I think they could, get into the playoffs. Maybe they can, win the division, right? Nothing too crazy, just very lukewarm, just leave it at that. Be that generic and that neutral. You add a Jeremiyah Love, he can lead the NFL in rushing yards, scrimmage yards, right? That's the level of impact that you can have with a Jeremiyah Love. And a team like the Tennessee Titans, when you look at the timeline they're on, the new coaching staff on both sides of the ball, the second-year quarterback, when you any team you can add that to. And you could make the argument you go do that. But the Tennessee Titans are just to me the perfect example of no, you better do that. You better do that. Even if it's not the ultimate missing link in the difference between turning this whole thing around it is such a massive piece that if you're looking at this team on a 2-3 I always look at teams in a 3-year window, especially when you're bringing in a new coach. A 3-year window, the fact that you have this now taken care of, you got that checked off, you're beautiful, you're good. Perfect. And there's other players that you'll be able to get in free agency over the next couple of years. You're not going to be able to get a Jeremiyah Love in free agency. The Philadelphia Eagles were so lucky to be up. To get Saquon, but that's because people were so confused and the Eagles were we're not confused. We're going to go do this. But everyone else, if everyone knew what they knew when the Eagles made it work, you wouldn't have been able to get Saquon. But I mean it would have been an absolute all-out bidding war. An absolute all, and now people are kind of oh wow, this really matters. That's why we saw the Chiefs go out and pay for Kenneth Walker and whatnot, So these things matter. You have the ability to get someone like a Jeremiyah Love who can just immediately make such a massive impact. And when you're looking on the 2-3 year timeline, forget about it. You are going to be so happy that you have that when your team is ready to win. When your team is ready to truly be as competitive as they can be. The fact that you now have Jeremiyah Love right now, you have a quarterback who's experienced, right? Now you got that defense up to speed. Now you got a good enough O-line, right? Like you have all the things. And you got Jeremiyah Love. It's just such a massive advantage. It's just such a massive advantage. Brian Daboll, Cam Ward, Jeremiyah Love, that alone has the potential to just get after it. Well, I wanted to show you more advanced analytics of some stats, but PFF does not want to be my friend right now. But what I want to highlight is that even if you don't have the best O-line in the game, right? You don't have the best run block win rate or anything like that. When you have someone as dynamic and as great like Bijan Robinson, a Derrick Henry, a Gibbs, like the damage can be done. The damage can still be done. They can transcend a poor O-line, especially with greatly timed play calling as well, right? It's not even just the play call itself, but it's just the timing of the play call. That in a lot of ways that's kind of how you get the home run hit, is the O-line can kind of open the door for you, but then it's also the truly special back to be able to hit the home run, but then the timing of the play. And I just think that again, when you not enough can be said about potentially linking up a Brian Daboll with a Jeremiyah Love with a sufficient O-line and with a quarterback who I believe will take legitimate steps forward, who will now be a threat just in the passing run game alone. From that perspective, you get multiplication, not just addition. You get a ton of synergy there. And I think I think some of these moves are no-brainers, honestly. I really, really do. So don't overthink it, Tennessee Titans. Do not overthink it. I think for me, Jeremiyah Love is probably the player that I'm most excited about beyond Fernando Mendoza, just because I'm going to be quarterback driven as well. And I know the conversations and the process of Fernando Mendoza. So like all of that comes so like obviously. I'm pretty locked in on that. But out of any of the other players, there's definitely a couple, handful of other players that I find intriguing, but I just think Jeremiyah Love has the ability to go to a team where he can have such significant impact. And that significant impact can be season-defining for the Tennessee Titans. It can actually be the difference between the Tennessee Titans, they're going in the right direction. They obviously made the right hire. Cam Ward is showing a lot of progress, right? Even if I could just say those things and they don't make the playoffs, right? They still lose and, they win 9 games or something like that, but they don't make the playoffs. You would still be like, this is a great season. Finally back on track. Cam Ward looked really good. Year 3, he's really going to pop, right? Robert Saleh really got that defense on track. And Brian Daboll, did a great job. And he's coming back for year 2. You would feel good. You would feel comfortable, confident, excited. But Jeremiyah Love has the ability to potentially push that even more, where now you're like, oh, no, we can get into the playoffs. We go, oh no, we can, and we get to play. And then you start to look at the math where you're like, oh, yeah, no, wild card round, we can absolutely beat so and so. Honestly, kind of like the Carolina Panthers. Not be. 'Cause they had such a huge impact player like a Jeremiyah Love, but it was just I don't know, they get in there they can beat the Rams, and they should have beat the Rams, honestly. If they were just a little bit better they would, so it's just you kind of fall in that kind of situation where you're actually okay, we can absolutely make the playoffs, and I don't think we could, I don't know, I don't know if we're going to get rocked in the first round, there's some potential here. Now, you're at the mercy to a degree of the other teams around you and how things unfold, but to me, that is the player that Jeremiyah Love that is the impact that a Jeremiyah Love brings. So that's why I'm most excited for it, just because of, the immediacy of it. The impact and the immediacy of that impact. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Tennessee Titans drafting Jeremiyah Love? Yeah. I know we obviously made this a version of this video a handful of times, but I can't get my mind off of it. Honestly, earlier in the whole draft discussion, I think I was a little bit more open to going in a different direction. I just feel like right now I can for whatever reason, like this is just where I'm locked in and I just would need more convincing. In a different direction honestly. So, let me know your thoughts. I read every single comment whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get into some discussions. Let's get into some fights, but ultimately let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be a part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up as it really does help visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.